President Trump has now signed the latest coronavirus stimulus bill into law. The $484 billion aid package will replenish the tapped-out Paycheck Protection Program, the relief needed to many for funding their families. And it will help small businesses who are unable to get their hands on a loan the first time. Western Mass News reporter Jordan Jagelinzer is getting answers on how this legislation is helping mom-and-pop businesses. Jordan.
Chris, the distribution of funds is expected to go more smoothly this time around, and there's a greater opportunity for smaller businesses to get a loan who were crowded out the first time by larger businesses. More aid is on the way for small businesses after the initial $350 billion in PPP funds were quickly exhausted to those able to submit their applications quick enough.
The first batch, phase one, about 20% of the money went and was funded by local banks and credit unions.
In a Skype interview with Western Mass News, financial advisor Richard Pelletier says more money will be given to smaller lenders. Of the $484 billion, $60 billion will be given to community banks and credit unions.
This time, they've set aside $30 billion for community banks and credit unions that have less than $10 billion in assets. They set another $30 billion aside for banks, community banks and credit unions that have between $10 billion and $50 billion worth of assets.
In hopes of helping those mom and pop businesses who were pushed out by larger companies and bigger banks the first time.
If you can justify in that 8-week period that all that money that you borrowed at 1% went exactly to payroll, rent, and utilities, it's forgiven. You owe the bank nothing.
The distribution of funds also expected to go more smoothly.
I think that it's going to be easier for the bank because they've processed the first phase.
But Pelletier says keep in mind existing customers have priority.
But I'm sure they've got a backlog of their existing customers that applied during the process, and then the money ran out. So those are parked and they're in the queue, probably ahead of yours.
Which is why he recommends getting your applications in ASAP.
Let's suppose, again, they run out of money, but your application will be in the queue. There'll be a phase 3. Trust me on that one.
And Pelletier predicts that this money could run out in as soon as 72 hours or on the optimistic end, 6 to 7 days. Live from home, I'm Jordan Jagelinzer. Chris, back to you.